Good morning, friends. Welcome to the concept of syllogisms. This topic is included in the reasoning as well as you may find some question in English also. This topic is very important for CAT point of view, ZAT, NMAT, for MBA entrance examinations, as well as for banking examination also, as well as for SSC. In banking examination, there is a set of 5 questions is generally asked over this topic. In CAT examination also, sometime 2 or 3 questions have been asked. Once in early 2001-2002, around 7 to 8 questions have been asked from this area of syllogisms. As well as it's a favorite topic for all competitive examiners. For starting with this topic, first of all, I just want to tell what type of the questions have been asked in this topic. In these type of questions, few statements are given to you. The statements may be 2 or it may be 3, and based over the statements you have to draw conclusions that can be logically drawn from the statements, right? So here the keyword is conclusion that can be logically drawn from the given statements. It may be by a single statement, or it may be after a combination of 2 or more statements, right? For answering these questions, one thing that is important to you, that is the use of the Venn diagrams. Here I will just state you the approach. That is the approach of Venn diagrams. By the term, what do you mean by the Venn diagrams? Venn diagrams, we simply mean that if we have to state A, B or C, so we use them into a circle format, right? Suppose if I say all A is B, it means one circle I will make of A and one circle I will make of B. Means for showing any of the aspect, we try to take the help of the Venn diagram. Okay. Apart from this, 2 or 3 more things that you have to take care of. The first thing is that we use some basic terms: few, most, many, more. Most, many, more. The meaning of all these terms is sum. The meaning of all these terms is sum, right? We cannot say, if I say many things, we cannot, or if I say most things, we cannot say all. That means, it simply means the sum, right? Similarly, not all not, all not, this means some not. It nowhere means no, right? We can, if I state that not all things, so I cannot say no thing. It means some things not, right? That nowhere means total. It means some are not. If I say few, most, many, more, that means some. That thing you have to take care of. Okay. Now for starting my aspect, we use 4 type of statement in this chapter. In this chapter we use basically 4 type of statement. The first statement is all A is B. Second statement is some A is B. Third statement is some A is not B. And fourth statement is no A is B. These are the 4 type of statements that we use in this chapter, and we have to draw conclusion over it after mixing of 2 or more statements. So before starting with the different type of questions, first of all I just want to tell you, if I say all A is B, how it can be represented in the Venn diagram format, as well as what conclusions can be drawn that are definite conclusions, and what we can say definitely that is not true, right? I take all the statements one by one in order to better understand the concept. My first statement is all A is B. First of all, I just want to show how to represent into the Venn diagrams. The first representation of this can be made is, suppose this is A and this is B. So I can say that simply states me all A is B, right? It means whatever A is there, that must be in B. The second representation can be made, this is A as well as this is B. Means that I can say A and B both are the same. In that case also I can say all A is B. Means if you say all A is B, two type of representation can be made. Okay. But here also we have the principle of minimum overlapping. We have the principle of minimum overlapping. Minimum overlapping means if nothing is mentioned, we try to take the minimum part, means that is the maximum and that is the minimum. If I say all A is B, so minimum I can say A is a part of B, right? Now I am going to tell you what definite conclusion I can draw over it. First I am going to state what is the definite conclusions I can draw on the aspect all A is B, right? It means sum A is B, as well as I can say sum B is A, right? All A is B, I cannot say sum B is not A, because that is the aspect. Because if I show my statements in this format, in that case I cannot say sum B is not A, right? And also the conclusions that are definitely false. The conclusions that are definitely false. First is I cannot say no A is B. Similarly, I cannot say no B is A. These are definitely false. If I say all A is B, so these two conclusions are definitely false and these two conclusions are definitely right. And every time we use the principle of the minimum overlapping, and these are the different representations that I can make from the statement all A is B. I hope it's clear, right? It means I can say that if it is given in the question all A is B, so the definite conclusion that I can draw sum A is B or sum B is A. Then I am going to take the second statement that states me sum A is B. My second statement is sum A is B. Right? Now if I want to show it, what I can say, sum A is B. The first representation can be made. This is A, this is B. In this case I can say sum A is B, that is the minimum overlapping, right? In that case I can say sum A is B. Second representation I can also make of this. This is A, this is B. So I can say sum A is a part of B, right? Third representation I can also make of this. This is A and this is B. Sum A is B, right? Similarly, fourth representation that I can make here also. This is A, this is B. Both are equal. In that case also I can say sum A is B. All these are the four different outcomes that can be inferred from the statement. But because of the minimum overlapping principle, we generally consider this one. Although all are true, because in all these four Venn diagrams I can say sum A is B, but it is always better for us to choose this one, because if I take the maximum overlapping, the conclusion may be different. Means whatever the conclusion is there, every conclusion must satisfy these all four Venn diagrams, right? Now we just try to find out what definite conclusions that can be drawn. First we try to find out what definite conclusions that can be drawn. If I say sum A is B, I may also say sum B is A. Sum B is A. That is the definite conclusion that I can draw. That is sum B is A. Now can you say sum B is not A? No, I cannot say, because in this statement and in this statement I cannot say sum B is not A. Right? Sometime it is in your mind, if you say sum A is B, it means sum A is not B. But that is not true. Why? Because in this case we cannot say sum A is not B, as well as in this case also I cannot say sum A is not B. It means when the statement is given as sum A is B, in that case the definite conclusion that I can draw, that is sum B is A. Now the conclusion that are always false, that are false, right? No A is B. That is definitely false, because if I say sum A is B, so that is definitely false. No A is B. Similarly, no B is A. That is also definitely false. No B is A. I hope the idea is clear, right? So these two conclusions are there which are definitely false, because when you say sum A is B, that will always be false, right? On the other hand, this will always be right. Why it is right? Because sum A is B. In all the four cases I can say sum B is A. I hope it's clear. Then you have the third statement. That is no A is B. The third statement is no A is B. Right? If I want to show it no A is B, this is A and this is B. Here I can say no A is B. Only one type of Venn diagram that I can draw. No A is B. Now I just start to answer what definite conclusions I can draw over it. The first definite conclusion I can say no B is A. Then I can say sum A is not B. Sum A is not B. As well as I can say sum B is not A. Sum B is not A. This conclusion I can also definitely drawn out of it. When we have no A is B, these three conclusions are there which will always be right. I hope it's clear. Similarly, we have some conclusions which will always be false. That will always be false. What are these? The first statement is if I say sum A is B, this will always be false. If I say sum B is A, this will also be false. If I say all A is B, all A is B, that is also false. If I say all B is A, this is also false. With what I can say, if the statement is no A is B, on that these conclusions are which are always right, and these are false conclusions that can be drawn. Sum A is B, sum B is A, all A is B and all B is A. All these are false. All these cannot be definitely drawn, and these three can be definitely drawn. After that we have statement number 4. It states you sum A is not B. It states you sum A is not B. Right? When it is given that sum A is not B, so we may take some of the examples. Right? In this, I can say if this is A, this is B, so I may say that sum A is not B. That is that portion of A which is not a part of B. Similarly, if I take this to be A and this to be B, so in that case also I can say sum A is not B. Similarly, the third case I can say, suppose this is all is A and this is B, this is A and this is B. In that case I can also say this is the portion of A which is not a part of B. Right? So what I can say that if it is given that sum A is not B, on that we can draw these three type of Venn diagrams, and the conclusion that is definitely true that I have to draw, it must satisfy all the three Venn diagrams. Right? Now just try to understand, if it is given that sum A is not B, can you tell sum B is not A? In that case you can say, in that case you can say, but in this case you cannot say, because in this case all B is A. It means sometime by mistake we take it as sum A is not B, so we have a misconception in our mind. We can say that sum B is not A, but that would be definitely false. Why? Why it is false? Because of this particular concept. So here I can say no definite conclusion can be drawn from here on the basis of sum A is not B. I hope the idea is clear. It's a very important thing. If you have sum A is not B, in that one thing must be clear in your mind, that you cannot say sum B is not A. Why? Because the definite conclusion is something which must satisfy all the different type of Venn diagram that we can draw. In this type of Venn diagram we cannot say sum B is not A, hence this conclusion cannot be definitely taken. I hope the idea is clear. Now I explained you all the four type of statement. The next aspect that we try to understand is how to use the principle of minimum overlapping. How to use the principle of minimum overlapping in drawing the Venn diagrams for the given statements. In drawing the Venn diagram for the given statements, right? So I am going to here discuss 4 to 5 aspects in which I am going to tell you how to draw the Venn diagram, on that what conclusion you can draw. Once it is clear, then we start with the exercise part. It is given that all A is B, all A are B, that is statement number 1. Then statement number 2, it is given that some B are C, some B are C, right? We have to draw the Venn diagram for this. All A are B, as per to the principle, all A is a part of B, right? Then it is given that some B are C. Although if I say some B are C, I may make a circle for C bigger, but I will just for the minimum overlapping, I make the circle for C to be very small. I will not make an overlapping between C and A. Why? Because it cannot be definitely stated in the question. So by the principle of minimum overlapping, the optimum Venn diagram that should be made by me, that should be this one, because this Venn diagram is going to satisfy all the given conditions. All A are B and some B are C. Now if I talk about the conclusion parts, what conclusion I can draw? Some C are B, that is right. Some A are B, that is also right. Some B is A, that is also right. Now can you say all B are A? That is wrong. Can you say some C are A? That is wrong. Why? Because some C are A cannot be definitely drawn from the given statements. I hope the idea is clear. Okay. Similarly, we may take some more examples. Example number 2, it is given that all A are B. Statement number 1. Statement number 2, all B are C. Statement number 2 and statement number 3, some C are D. Right? And we have to draw the possible Venn diagram for this. Now when I start with this, I will start with all A are B. Suppose this is A, this is B. It is given that all A are B. Then all B are C. So I may say this is said to be C, all B are C. Now it is given that some C are D. It means I will not draw a circle that will overlap with A or B. I will draw a circle that overlaps simply with C. So I just make it as some C are D. So that would be thing. Now in the question if it is given that some A are D, in that case we have to draw a circle that will overlap with A. If it overlaps with A, automatically it will overlap with B and C both. Similarly, we may take one more example here. Example number 3rd. It is given that all A are B. Next we have some B are C. Next we have no B is D. Right? We have to draw it. All A are B. Take this A and this to be B. Some B are C. Some B are C. You will not overlap with A. No B is D means I have to take a D which is not overlapping with B, because no B is D. So I may draw my D here, or it may overlap with C. But for the principle of minimum overlapping, we draw D in such a way that it will not overlap with C. The reason behind it, if I draw it in such a way, it means it will overlap with C. So that create a confusion in my mind while answering the question. I may say some C are D, but that will always be wrong, right? So here I can say that is the minimum structure that I can make. Now what definite conclusion I can draw from here? Can you say some B is A? Yes. Can you say some A is B? Yes. Can you say some C is B? Yes. Can you say some C is A? No. Can you say some C is not D? That is right. Why? Because it is given that no B is D and some C is B. With this portion may overlap with B. And we know that no B is D. It means B and D will never overlap. That simply means this is portion, this will never overlap with D. So I may say that some C is not D is definitely true in this statement. I hope it's clear. It means whatever the questions are there in your examinations, first some statements are given to you. After that, and some conclusions are there, you have to draw the Venn diagram of these statements, and based over this you have to check whether these conclusions are the right or wrong. If they are right, your answer would be, you have to tick that, means it's right. If that is wrong, as per to the given instruction, you have to answer your statement. In last, I am going to take one more example for better understanding. It is given that all pens are pencils. All pens are pencils. Then some pens are erasers. Some pens are erasers. Third one is all papers are books. All papers are books. And next we have all erasers are books. All erasers are books. Right? Now based over that, I have to answer my questions. I have to just make a drawing of the Venn diagram. All pens are pencils. If I take this to be pens, all pens are pencils. So this circle is used for pencils, right? Then some pens are erasers. Now we can say that some pens are erasers. So I have to draw a eraser in such a way that there may be a common between pen and eraser, that is for eraser. Now it is given that all papers are books. Here we don't have papers as well as books. All erasers are books. It is given that all erasers are books. It means one circle is there for the books. And all papers are books. So one circle is there, it must be made in the books, that is for the papers. So that is the minimum overlapping that I have made. Now if I state about the conclusions, if it is given that some erasers are pencils, my answer is right. If it is given that some books are pencils, my answer is right. If it is given that some papers are erasers, my answer is wrong. If it is given that some papers are book, my answer is right. Means now as per to the minimum overlapping principle, we have made this Venn diagram, and by looking at this Venn diagram, we are in a position to draw our conclusions. I hope you are in a position to understand about the principle of minimum overlapping as well as how to draw the conclusions. Once it is clear to you, in the next session, I will tell you what type of questions have been asked in your examinations as well as how to answer the questions as per to the given instruction. Thank you very much.